play.
Wake up, it's time to see. The go, the system set your mind free. Normalizing trust on a mission. Exposing frauds, revealing the illusion.
This is the fraud department.
Behind the curve, see through the lies. A master system, open your eyes. For the conscious, for the bold, for the free, we break the chains.
You go the matrix. You go the matrix. You go the fraud department.
Welcome back. It's been a few minutes. Fraud department. We're live on various locations.
Yes.
Bubba.
These great United States.
Yes. Aiden is live at his new digs in Athens, Georgia. He's now officially a PhD student. So he's now settled in. For those who do or do not know, in the Matrix, I deal with, I respond to weather and catastrophe things. So I'm actually in Wisconsin dealing with some tornadoes and disasters that have occurred here. So, but we're back and yay. All right. Today, we're talking about, we've got a new term. We've coined a new term called Garfunkelry. We're going to give the best way to explain what Garfunkel.
Before we start, I think we need to talk a little bit about the inspiration behind why this word. This word didn't just come out of a rabbit's ass or a hat. You know what I mean? Like this is motivated by the deep and repeated action of the Corporation of the United States. And it's like after so much time, you have to re-describe these actions. Everything can't just be BS. Everything can't just be some nonsense.
We're beyond BS. We're beyond BS now.
We have to now put the scale. And this is a kind of foreshadowing. We have to change the scale for which we grade these actions. And so now they're baseline.
And that's the way of the Matrix, is to change the scale. Just like I noticed that every time, like I'm because I travel so much, I'm diamond and platinum and whatever else on various hotel sites. And it's like every time I reach status, for example, even on Delta, as soon as I make diamond medallion, well, it used to be just silver, gold, and platinum. Then when you reach platinum, now there's a diamond status you have to reach. Okay, now I've reached the diamond status. Now there's like this 360, and there's like some other things.
There's ruby. Now there's platinum. Now there's diamond forever.
Right. Million Miler Club, and there's like, anyways. So so you have to change the scale because the amount of funk is getting funkier. Everything's getting funkier. So
once you get a bachelor's, then you got to get a master's, then you got to get a doctorate.
It used to be you could live great and be well on a high school diploma in the United States and go get you a job.
Allegedly.
You learned all the things you needed to know. Now, then it's like, oh, now we need a college degree. Now the college degree is kind of the equivalent of the high school diploma. Like that's just a baseline. Like everybody's got that.
Yep.
So now you got to have a master's. Now you got to have 2 masters. And, of course, Bubba, you're working on your PhD. Yes.
Yeah, we just had to go and skip right to whatever they got. Let me just get the biggest thing, and then we'll go from there. I'll take whatever comes.
Yeah. So, yes. Garfunkelry.
And the name. Before we get to Garfunkelry, we gotta let this mill a little bit. So the name of these scales and all the nonsense that they're doing here. Let's talk a little bit about this new public grading scale we have. Oh gosh.
A is an 84% to 100%. Since when? 84, anything in the 80, that's a B. A B. Why wasn't it like this when I was in school? A B is a 64% to 84%. 64% is a B. I would have passed for flying colors. Flying colors. Now they want to tip the scales. A C is a 44% to 64%. I'd have been freaking valedictorian. I'd have been a freaking summa cum laude.
That's summa cum laude.
I'd have been summa cum laude. A D is a 24% to 44%, and an F is a 0 to 24%. What's the requirement? What's the requirement? Whoa. So they ain't got to work no more? Huh? I hate this.
It's no child left behind.
I wish I had.
This is the way to not leave anybody behind.
But for real, y'all, let's be real. This is not right. Look at our grading scale. This was our scale. 100 to a 90 is an A.
I can't see.
89 to 80 is a B. 79 to 70.
Right.
Yeah, so I think, and this is happening in California. So if we had any concern,
I was just getting ready to ask, where are they doing this at? Where's this going on? Because
where they do that at?
Yeah, where they doing this at?
I think even if they weren't changing the grading scale, we know that the rigor is declining rapidly, along with the literacy rates. So it's scary, especially considering that most of the education now is just taking place on iPads, computers. It says they're doing this in San Francisco.
Oh,
San Francisco public high schools allow students to pass with scores as low as 41%. Grading for equity.
I mean, don't you get 40% for just putting your name on the paper?
I think on the SAT, which is, the standard. Let's see what we got here.
This is such a joke.
This is May 2025, but yep, right there. Sweeping change. What does it say? Grading for equity. So
grading for equity. I'm sorry, what? Grading for equity?
Yes. Other similar policies across the Bay Area: Dublin, Oakland, Pleasanton. Shout out Oakland.
To the town. What's up to the town?
So yeah, minimum 50% for any reasonably attempted work. Reasonably attempted. Let's unpack this a little bit. Let's unpack reasonably attempted in life. Let's just talk about life. I reasonably attempted, baby. Officer,
can we apply this to bills and stuff? Like, I reasonably attempted to pay this bill.
This is applied for energy. Let's.
This is such a joke.
This is tag applied for energy in real time in our school systems. Are we going to accept this, y'all?
Not tag applied for it. Yeah, tag applied. We got to get my friend.
The cardboard.
Yes, one of my longtime friends is the tax commissioner for Rockdale County in Georgia, and she posted on social media the other day, tag applied for is not a thing. That doesn't.
So let's look at this. This policy was not subject to public vote by the BLE. So
that's just something they're implementing on Gen Pop.
Gen Pop. Yes. And see, and it's funny because I have no plan on having any children anytime soon, but I've been adamant about, I don't think if I ever do, I will send them to the Gen Pop slaughterhouse. That is
no, they'll be homeschooled by me.
Yeah. And even if they have to go to a school, it will be someone.
It'll be like a prairie school or a Montessori or something.
Or that I would work at or something if it ever came to that. Just like you would pop up on me. You know what I'm saying? We just at the school with it every other Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or every Wednesday.
Yeah, I did used to do that. That was very critical. I felt like during those formative years, my presence was important. So yes, I was the volunteer of the year at the school, always there. I was the room parent. I was on yard duty. I was on lunch duty. They knew me, and they knew you, and you knew they knew me, and we weren't gonna have no problems.
So let's talk about this a little bit. They said that they hid this in the fine print. That's not really surprising. Let's talk about this quote. If our grading practices, and let's emphasize grading practices specifically, don't change, the achievement and opportunity gaps will remain for our most vulnerable students. So instead of optimizing the education, instead of optimizing the experience for those students and fine-tuning that, let's just change the scale altogether because they're vulnerable. This is equity. This is what they say DEI they don't want. And I agree. This is not the DEI that any of us signed up for. And it's funny. I've been looking at this I Heart DEI shirt on Instagram. It's really nice. I think I might get it for you. But yeah, I think this is hilarious. And I think this is what people talk about with the blue state nonsense. And it's like, you don't even get a chance. This is once you put these people into power, swoop, swoop, swoop. There goes all those A's, B's, and C's. Like, we got F's in the 30s, in the 40s, reasonably attempted. This is what they say. So, this is Garfunkelry right here, y'all. This is Garfunkelry.
And this is the future generation. These are the people that are going to be getting jobs and
operating on your collapsed lungs and failed kidneys.
Drawing blood. I mean, I don't know. Whatever people do that
is important to saving lives. I was just talking. So this is a side note, but I think this is very important. The reason why EMS, emergency medical services, are so sparse and hard to come by in rural areas isn't only a product of geography. It's mainly because EMS is not considered an essential service, like fire and the police. You don't get a bill when you call the police or you call the fire department. But if you accept care, mostly that taxi service, they're not able to make money. And so it's so much harder when there's less frequent calls and stuff like that. So that's another thing that they're trying to do. And I think they're doing that in California as well, trying to make these tax districts specifically for EMS, since there's so many, people that are waiting 30 plus minutes for something.
I mean, theoretically, what does the government owe you?
They don't. Until you say you're paying for it.
Do they? What are our taxes collected for? People would pay property taxes and
they're not collected for that. Because someone can make that.
I mean, it used to be back in the day, you could call the fire department to get your cat out the tree. You know what I'm saying? They would come with the ladder and they would do things and they would help out.
They don't do that no more.
Support the community, and
they still do that. Allegedly. If you tell them that it's your cat, they probably will take a lot longer to show up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we're more kind to animals in our society in a lot of cases than we are to other humans. So that's kind of a thing. Well, all right. So long to education.
Hanging from a tree. Say it's a cat, and they'll be on the way.
Right. Yeah. So say la vie to the education system, because this is just insane. Changing the grading scale in this way.
And in the Bay Area, most of the people
I could see changing the way we teach, changing the curriculum, changing.
They say grading practices. That's all they change.
But changing the scale to basically is just saying that, we're going to meet you wherever you're at. And if you show up, you're good.
Reasonably attempted. Like this is the verbiage. So one of the teachers in the Dublin school district who this is affected by said, nowhere in college do you get 50% for doing nothing. Even if I made a reasonable attempt to get there. If I don't show up for work, they don't pay me 50% of my salary. That's a fact.
And space thing, just to get people through, to say they passed. These people are not actually going to college. I mean,
right.
I can't imagine.
But the point is that what they're saying is now that because you're vulnerable, we don't want you to have this negative tag, i.e., you didn't pass high school. So we're going to change the grading practice to where you passing high school means absolutely nothing, but it's a little pat on the back. It's a little sticker after you get your vaccine.
It's a everybody's a winner thing,
Right.
like in sports, how everybody gets a trophy for showing up.
Right. You paid for it. That's your fee.
And and honestly, I'm just gonna say this, and I talk about this in the book, in The Elephant in the Room. Our system of education is not really to educate, it's to prepare you for the matrix, right? So this current trajectory of, we'll just pass everybody on, everybody has to go to school, we've made it a law that everybody has to go to school. So, but they're not really worried anymore about whether or not you're able to function in the matrix, because all the jobs that you would have previously assumed are now going to be going to AI.
Right.
So it seems perfectly reasonable that the education system is just sliding down the slippery slope of, we don't give a fuck.
It's not just slippery, it's lubed up. It's nothing but Diddy's baby. They just put all the Diddy's baby and they're just sending kids down not
the Diddy lube. It's got Diddy lube on it. Stop it, Bubba. You're not right for that. Yeah, the slope is super slippery.
The pipeline, like what they say, school to prison, school to insane asylum, school to whatever. School is gonna take you nowhere. Nowhere, dog. Looking back, there are a lot of things where we were the test kids. Oh, we'll let you bring your own iPad. Okay, now we'll bring some computers in. Okay, now we have remember that the computer labs back in the day. Now they started bringing stuff into the classroom, and now they got to a point where they say, "Hey, we're gonna shut down the entire world, and we're gonna send you home. Your mom's gonna have to set you up. You're gonna have to get set up for Zoom class every day." Just a little tester, only for a couple semesters. We'll see how that works out. Then we'll bring you back and cut out the whole scale. Because when I was coming out, they said you can't fail. In my spring semester, when they sent us home, they said you cannot fail any class that you started taking. You see what I'm saying? You can't go from pass to fail. If you were failing, but it's hard to be failing in February. So basically, they were already testing it on us. What can we say? What can you really say at this point? And this is happening in San Francisco, California, the tech capital. The software servers, all those companies that are getting a subscription from you, their kids, they're not going to public school. They have their own little system where they send their people. All the poor people that work there, that's where their kids go.
And this is where all the AI technology stuff is coming, not all of it, but
the ideas are coming from.
The ideas are coming from. So again, it makes sense that they would be okay. San Francisco is just like, do whatever. San Francisco is a place where the homeless just line the streets. There's certain areas where they just don't enforce anything. San Francisco, if you ever become homeless, remember that book of Eli? Remember that movie Book of Eli? He had to get to the Bay. He was trying to get to, that's where he was trying to get to. San Francisco is the one place you can go. If you decide you're just going to be homeless, things are bad, and you can set up a tent. The weather is always nice and cool. It's not, it doesn't rain a whole lot. It'd be a little chilly, but it's not freezing. And they will let you can set up your tent and be great. And nobody's going to bother you.
Yeah.
Ever.
No.
You can set up on the sidewalk. Like the sidewalks are no longer for people to walk upon.
You can go to the beach. This is what
it's the water. I mean, it's great.
This is the average experience walking in San Francisco. Any side street, anything. This is what it's gonna look like. Tents. You feel me?
Right.
Some places when they put stuff like this up, they're exaggerating.
This is facts. We've been there. We've seen it. San Francisco.
This is what they do. They come clean this stuff up, and then they come back weeks later. This is when they actually come clean it up, but no, and you can smell it. So yeah, this is normal. These hilly streets, and
the shit's running downhill. So get you a spot. If you're gonna get you a spot, make sure you get that spot up on the hill somewhere, Don't be downhill on the ground.
Speaking of a hill, shout out to Morehouse, man. Shout out to Morehouse. They just had their NS. They have one of the best new student orientation experiences you can have. And I think I just want to share a quick clip from it because it was actually pretty cool. Some of the stuff they do. We could talk about this from a, I don't know, this could just be a reaction because I don't know if you've seen it before. Some of these videos, because they kind of change up some stuff every year, but this is really cool. So yeah, that's basically when you're done with the entire weekend, the last night. I think that's the Saturday night. You're walking out, you got your, your shirt on, you got your tie, and it's like all alum and/or I think the people in the suit, the guys in the suits, those are like the NSO volunteers, so they've been leading you the whole time. But all the rest of them, a lot of times it's like alum. You can see all different types of people, but man, the feeling you have after that is crazy. Like it makes you want to run through a wall. Like it feels like you're walking out, finna go play in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But
and that's what is that? And what's happening there?
That's new student orientation. So that's like the end of new student orientation after your like parent parting ceremony or parent pinning.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All that type of stuff.
Now, most of those traditions don't change.
Well, I know, but like for example, we did it in Forbes Arena. They didn't have the chapel as much, so like now they're kind of restoring a lot of that stuff. Make it more like
same stuff at Spelman. All right, next up. All right, so we've covered the education Garfunkelry. What's next? The next government.
Gotta give us some feel good for the education side. It's not all bad, guys. Once you make it to college. Oh man, yeah. I mean, do we want to talk about the USS? Or we want to get into the Treasury? I think this is actually a pretty funny video that I saw the other day. I don't think I sent it to you. Oh, I did.
If I'm wrong, right? I know I'm not even wrong. I know I'm not wrong, but I'm gonna tell y'all anyway, right? I just go to the store, right? So I get what I'm getting. He tells me the total is 704. I heard him loud and clear, right? He says 704. I counted to 7. 5, 6, 7. He said 7 what? He said 04. So I looked down at the money. When I went to look back up at him, he was already looking at me. Now it's awkward now because I'm looking up to say like, as if to say like, you really want that 4 fucking cent? But he's already looking at me like this, like, I really want that 4 cent, right? So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna give him the 4 cent. The problem here is that I don't have 4 fucking cent on me. I don't even have a fucking nickel. I have a dime though, however, right? I have a dime. I put a dime on the counter. He takes the dime, puts the dime in the register, grabs the nickel, puts it on the counter, slides it to me, and looks at me while he's sliding it. I couldn't help but just smirk. Because who the fuck you think I am, nigga? Who the fuck you think you dealing with right now that one of us has to take a short and you think it's gonna be me? You got me 50 shades of fucked up out here, gang. This go for him, anybody. If we ever encounter each other, I'm talking to y'all right now, watch. If we ever encounter each other and one of us has to take a fucking short, I promise you it won't be me, gang. And if it is me, it won't be, I won't take that shit by myself. On my baby, nigga, y'all tripping. So I smirked at him. I'm like, 6. He said, what do you mean? I said, 06, 6 cent. I need a penny. He said, we don't have any pennies though. I said, what you mean you ain't got no pennies? You ain't got no pennies, huh? Why you ain't got no pennies? He said, they don't make them anymore. So why the fuck did you expect me to pay you for them bitches then, my nigga? If you know that they don't make them anymore. What you want me the cramped up a fucking fuck you, nigga? You tripping. And what reality do you live in that you think you about to just be out here taking all the fucking loose pennies and not dishing none? Fuck you, nigga. You not
Man, bro, I was livid, gang. I was ready to flip. I was gonna take it there about that penny. You tripping? So I looked at him, right? I'm like, yo, so where we go from here, my boy? He said, I only have nickels to give you back. I said, well, add another one. He said, but that's like giving you a dime back. Great fucking idea. You just read my mind. Get my dime out the fucking register, my guy. And I want my dime, not no other dime. Give me my dime. I know what mine looked like. It was fucking silk. Get my dime before I flip shit in here, bro, because you tripping, nigga.
I know what it looked like.
I'm about to take the news in that bitch. I can see the headlines now. Penny pinching turns to penny punch. I was gonna do him bad. Hey, chat.
Oh my god, it's funny. I watched that whole video and that is still hilarious. Penny punching turned to penny punching.
Penny punching. Oh, I'm crying.
How you feel about that? Like, they don't make it, but you want 4 of them. You want me to give you 4 of them. That's crazy.
And see, the thing is, and this is the Garfunkelry of it all, is that the government, okay, is not making any more pennies, not making more change, but they're also not changing how tax is calculated, right? So even if, let's say, all store owners are like, oh, I'm gonna round all my stuff, everything would be, to the dollar or to the nickel, whatever the case is, you still got to add tax. That adds them pennies that aren't actually created anymore. So that's the fuckery of it. They need to change how
the entire system.
Yes, the entire system. We're going to reduce
the more foreshadowing later in the episode. If they can do that, what changes it from doing anything, like we said, to the calendar? We know they're already messing with the weather, et cetera, et cetera. And what he said in the video, which was hilarious, he said, what reality do you live in which you think you can scrounge up all the pennies and not give none back? Well, the reality he's living in is a reality everyone else is having to come to grips with. He's still stuck kind of, and he's coming to grips with like, oh, nah, like in real life, this is how they moving now. And it's like, it makes you scratch your head.
The Matrix. The Matrix is,
Yeah, it's starting to expose itself fully. It's like, yeah, this was already in plan. This has been in motion for minutes. We say it's been a minute in the Black community. It's been minutes, going on an hour now. So we need to catch up. We got cryptocurrency.
A lot of minutes.
We got cryptocurrency. How long do you think it's going to take for they start cutting off the lowest form of currency, pennies? And then they're going to do this. And then we don't even take cash anymore at half these places.
Right. A lot of people don't take cash. You can't even, you don't, if you're not connected to the banking system, somebody's system in some way, you can't even eat. Can't even get nothing to drink, no coffee.
Let me grab my Atlanta United towel. Shout out to the A, because I do not rep the Falcons right now. They are, Jesus, they're just.
I think there's a Falcons game where me and my crew might try to go to the Falcons Green Bay game, because we're up here not too far from Green Bay. But yeah, the whole no change thing is wild. I usually just look at people. I'm not giving you penny. You're gonna take the L.
Yeah, there's always a discretion with every store. Every store can take the hit. It's a transaction fee, because you know how there's a cash fee when you drive past that gas station. They are giving you the credit card. They're giving you the cash price for that gasoline. They charge you an extra 5 cents, 5.09 cents to be specific, every time you use that credit card. So it's like there's a fee either way. What's the real price? If there's a cash price and there's a credit price, there's some spread in the middle.
Right.
That's the Matrix, there's glitches.
What's the actual price?
Right. Oh, we charge you $3. We charge a $3 convenience fee, right? We charge. So like when you walk out, and I think it's a good example if you ever go to any legal state in which they sell cannabis, by the time you walk out of there, the transaction has so many layers to it.
It's doubled.
It's like
doubled.
It's like you got the roundup fee, you got the ATM fee, you got the recycling fee, you got the city tax fee, you got the state tax fee, you got it really is a mind boggle when you think of all the other things that you purchase on a daily basis and how they kind of just make it easier for you. You know what I'm saying? Like we start buying cigarettes in certain places, they start adding in all these different. I'm like, it's $20 for 2-pack of Newports. Damn, like it was. They've changed, but they realize that they can tax this group because of public perception. So the same way we can pay prisoners 30 cents an hour. Like in theory, even though they're prisoners, labor is labor. So who are we to say? So the only reason why you don't get paid 30 cents an hour is because you haven't committed a crime and you are considered you're eligible to be employed in the United States. So you deserve $7.25, or you deserve $15, or you deserve whatever that number is. But if you don't meet that criteria, which they're trying to knock off birthright, they're trying to knock off all these different forms of citizenship, that means you are worth 30 cents an hour to them.
Which is really zero.
Considering overhead. That's the thing. The overhead to house
I bet you they tax that money too. I bet you that tax that.
Let's talk about the 30 cents an hour. Let's talk about why people join the military. I was just watching a video, and this wasn't even related, but it was a good conversation about people, especially colored people, and the actual reasons that they join the military. And the types of demographics, not just racially, but the type of households you come from. The people that join the military are not always the most patriotic. They're the people that had no other option. They're the people that literally said, hey, I have no chance of going to college and paying for it.
A lot of NPCs join the military. I think we talked about that. And the military loves a good NPC. They love a person with no options. They love a person that has no money, that they sprinkle a couple dollars on and give them a Kansas Spam and and great.
Yeah,
they love it. It's a mutually beneficial relationship, actually.
Mutually, I mean, allegedly mutual.
So you FAFO until you get in the military and FAFO. What's next? These people on the ship. These people on the ship, they done FAFO'd heavy on the FAFO.
Let's talk about the USS Abraham Lincoln.
That's where you F around and find out. If you don't know what FAFO.
At sea for 206 days. All right, let's look at the conditions.
All right, y'all. So a couple of y'all wanted to see how the ship look, or the head look, aka the bathroom. The shower's right here. You feel me? This is what we go through on a carrier in the Navy. They say join the Navy, right? Join the Navy. Yeah, look at this. This is crazy. This ain't even the worst part, man. Sinks and trunks. Wait till y'all see the toilets, man. Look at the toilet. Y'all expect me to take a doodle in this, y'all? Nah, y'all crazy. Look at this. Come on now. Join the Navy, though, right? Join the Navy. Yeah, all right, bro. All right, y'all. So a couple of y'all wanted to see how the ship look, or the head look.
Oops. I had two friends leaving for various reasons, but I wish I could have reached out to them before this to see if this is standard, because there were some comments that were like, look, bro, I've seen worse. I mean, they obviously didn't always end up at sea for as long or had some of the same situations. They have been in combat areas, but there's some things it's like, hey, bro, I didn't experience this on multiple deployments. And it's like, damn, bro, like, they get treated like ish when they get home. You know what I'm saying? They go there, not to mention all the stuff, that sounded like a black dude that posted this. They go through the facial mutilation, you know what I'm saying? And then you end up pretty much
facial mutilation. What's that?
So there's a big thing in the military that they understand biologically that black men having to shave bald has in the way that they have to maintain themselves impacts their skin, and so they end up with those those really bad like lava looking, like kind of how my dad's face looked a little bit. Because of how much they have to and the stuff that they give them, blah, 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 blah. So you have to get basically a medical exemption in order to not have to do that unless you are religious, and they don't really let those people in the military anyway. So the whole thing is that they know that only certain people have to go through that, black people, but they still don't make any formal exception besides having to literally go to a doctor and get some type of special cream. And it really doesn't help because you still just shouldn't be, and there's no reason for it other than that type of discrimination. Because if the rule came into existence for that discriminatory purpose. But now that you're there, they're just like, hey, they don't care. Like, it doesn't affect us, so why would we change it?
Yeah, because you see images of people in the military back in the day. They had long beard, like back in
It's not doing your job. It's not a safety thing. It is all formal. It's all a formality. So I had a few more, unfortunately. Do you want to look at the food?
I guess we better show it.
You got to be.
I don't want to look at it. I'm sure somebody wants to look at it.
All right. So this is what the meals look like on the USS. Let's break this down. What can we identify the meat? Let's play a game. Guess that meat. That looks like some fries, some crinkle cut fries. Those fries look wider than a potato would before they cook it. What is that? Is that lettuce? What is that? That looks like.
And this is the SS what?
Abraham Lincoln. Our founding. This president. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. So, they've obviously dismissed concerns about this. Look at that.
What is that? What's the yellow stuff?
Is that an egg?
Is that cheese?
I don't know if that's egg or cheese. It's unidentified.
It looks like stuff is growing on. What is this like brown strip? Like, okay, the bottom right corner looks like brown doo-doo, but what's the brownish orange strip in the middle? Is that supposed to be a tortilla?
I think so. I think that's a tortilla.
And the rice doesn't look cooked. The rice looks crunchy. What is this in the middle?
a strip of something. At first I thought it was a breadstick. Let's keep it going. Oh my god. It's ashy. What is this? This looks like
what meat used to look like before they had food regulation, like back, like rancid meat, like that people were dying from in like the 40s, 50, like 30s, 40s, 50s, back in when they started manufacturing food and stuff like that. This is what it looked like. If you ever watched the History Channel, how
history,
the food that built America on the History Channel.
I don't need to watch the History Channel. I can go on CNN. They talk about this right now, bro. Look at this.
What's the purple stuff?
That's a brick of beef. That's a cube of beef. Oh my gosh. It's the single fork. It's
like, is that eggplant? Eggplant, I think, is purple.
No, that is meat, Mom. They don't feed them eggplant on no ship. Look at this. Single patty, no bun, no ketchup, and rice. Okay? This is not funny. This isn't funny, but golly, I can't even tell what
these are the rations. This is like, and what's the issue with the USS Lincoln? You're not supposed to be out to sea that long. Why are they?
Because we're in conflict. I think
I don't. Let me ask. Let me see if chat we could.
You forgot we're at war. You forgot we're at war, huh?
Oh, they're out at war.
Yeah, they were in China, and they got sent. They were in China in November, and then they got.
How are we gonna be at war if we're not properly nourished? If we're not at our best, and we're not at 100%?
Do you see this?
This looks like what they used to feed people in like Nazi concentration camps to the Jews. No, so, like
this is an aircraft carrier, just so you know. So there's nothing but fighter jets on there. So
is that pizza?
Yes, it looks decrepit. It looks like a skin condition. This pizza looks like a burnt face, like Candyman. This probably looks like the best meal. Just because there's some liquid in here.
Hella watery, but maybe there's some flavor in there.
It's the one.
I'm crying at these tortillas. I need them to stop with these tortillas.
So they came from San Diego. That's where one of my friends was based in. And so
again, California. What's going on with California?
Blacks. What's wrong with the libs, as they say? So yeah, I mean that is the current situation. I mean, there's plenty more. There's plenty more to look at. It's scary.
Don't do it.
It's scary that this,
I guess, and I mean, part of me, there's a part of me that's like, oh, that's terrible. The other part is like, hey, you signed up to go kill people, so what you get is what you get.
Right. That's true. That is true.
Like at the end of it all, that's a reality that you may, whatever reason you join the military, whether you're patriotic or not, the reality is, they're going to put firearms in your hand, and they're going to have to go somewhere and kill somebody.
Everybody does it though. Let's be true. Let's not be fraud. Everybody does not sign up to go do that.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
Everybody doesn't plan to do that. But the reality is that could be the ask. And
right.
If that's the ask, that's what you have to go do.
Right, just like the police force. You may not have to, they're not telling you to go do something bad, but if your partner does, the expectation is to cover it up. The expectation is to have their back. They're not going to say that we're going to go out and murder some people. And, you know, so there was a situation in Atlanta recently that basically a guy in plain clothes was a sheriff. He got his leg shot off shooting at people without identifying himself. And then after he got shot, he put on his vest and was like, I didn't shoot my gun. And the guy ended up getting off on charges. So the guy that ended up shooting the officer got off on charges, and the officer got a badge of honor because he lost his leg. Like his leg was dangling. Crazy. But it's so funny how the Matrix will, you know, Buddy got justice, but not really, because you got shot at by somebody that never got held accountable. But at least you didn't go to jail. At least you did. You know, in the investigation, it was pretty clear. There was surveillance video. Like he couldn't even lie. He lied on the scene, of course. But, you know, whatever. Last thing on the USS, this was apparently back when this was old, but this is, you know, pretty much important because this is that same ship. Apparently this smells like, this water that they had smelled like fuel, and nobody gave a. So what you're seeing here is those fuel deposits separating.
It started to separate so you could see it.
Right, and this is what you do when you test like E85, for example.
No, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is 2022. So who knows? So I couldn't imagine what they're going through now. You feel me? So they said 6 have tried to jump overboard.
Wait, what was that? What was he digging his hands in at the end? What was that?
I don't know. That's probably where they're keeping. That's probably in the kitchen where they are, you know, dealing with food and stuff. So you know, yeah. Yep. And the thing is, too, that people don't understand, it's not just about how long they're at sea. When you are a sailor or anybody that goes out on long fishing expeditions, you go out into the wilderness, you have an expected day that you're coming home, especially when you're on a mission with 5,000 other people. You know that there's just one day on the calendar that I have circled that I'm going to get to touch the ground. I'm going to get to smell grass again. I'm going to get to interact with someone else that doesn't have a uniform on. And when that is stripped away from you time over, they don't even give you a date. It's not like they're even delaying. It does something to you mentally. And that's why people are trying to jump off the ship. It's not just about the conditions, because a lot of sailors have experienced conditions like this, but these conditions are happening without the consideration that, you know, they're expecting to come home.
And in the role that I play when I am dealing with catastrophes and stuff like that, I'm quote unquote, I'm not in the military, but I'm quote unquote deployed to these different locations. And my Matrix sponsor, they make sure that, you know, once a month or so, I get a certain number of days at rest. I can go home if I want to. I can bring somebody to site if I want to, just to keep, you know. And of course, I'm not in the military stuck out at sea. At any point in time, I can just, you know, I guess go home if I really wanted to.
You're coming with your vehicle and go home.
Yeah, they don't.
Specifically. Yeah,
I would be trying to swim. I'd be trying to jump into the ocean and swim home. So I see now why people are, you know, go ahead.
On game because it's very real and obscenely underreported. As a former member of the Bubblehead Church, my saltwater fish demanded opposition to all targets on top of the water. However, and I do not say this lightly, we all know that spending over 200 days in theater ain't nothing to play with. See, the worst part about being on a submarine isn't the cramped space or the non-existent sun. It isn't that sleep is a dream in itself or that contact with the outside civilian world comes in waves of monitored emails. It's not that the food is a finite resource. It's not that your entertainment is DVD, Blu-ray, and downloaded movies, music, and books. It's not the no phone. It's not the no internet. It's not the one treadmill, one bike, one set of weights, and one washer dryer set for 150 or so guys. And it's not the fact that if you miss a laundry day, you're screwed. It's not that there's no ship store to go to with hopes of replenishing toiletries, or that sometimes you have to find hidden pukas for your snacks because you're pretty much limited by rack space. It's not that you got to make your own water. It's not that you got to make your own electricity, which requires somebody to be awake. And barring competency and just plain fuckery, that means everybody is sometimes always awake. It is simply time. Time spent dealing with all of the above. And please don't misunderstand me. I'm not here trying to compare which circle of hell is better or worse, because the fact still remains, as I said, after 200 days straight at sea, even with the port call, any vessel and her crew will be dealing with significantly worse conditions. Your sense of time becomes skewed. The walls start to close in. You might develop habitual tics and routines as your mind attempts to create some modicum of sense and structure. And that's just the beginning. Hunger, anxiety, exhaustion. Your body begins to eat itself as your brain struggles to push you into the next watch rotation again and again and again, over and over and over. You do the same thing. You smell the same thing. You see the same thing. If you're lucky, you eat the same thing. Same people, same announcement, same view, or no view at all. And when the standards of work begin to inevitably slip along with military bearing and general give a fuck, cabin fever doesn't even begin to explain that. At some point, your mind is starting to look for ways out of that situation, and you can't figure out why. It's because you're suffering from an acute psychosis for which the only viable escape is a permanent one, and to which the ramification is hysteria. One after the other, the crew catches it like a disease, and they start falling like dominoes. Too many people are reading these headlines and anecdotal accounts that happen to make it off the ship without truly grasping the full scope of what I'm sure is already happening in the minds of the humans occupying that ship. But there's only so much you can learn without being there yourself, and I wonder if that $87 billion that Pete said was urgently required for operational costs, munitions, and force readiness, if that includes relief or a stores load for these people. I severely doubt it, since it's what they signed up for, even though what they signed up for doesn't cover it all. Because again, I do not say this lightly, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face. Spending over 200 days in that condition while postured in theater, enduring a stores depletion rivaled only by the consistent and rapid decline of the mental state of the crew, ain't nothing to fucking play with. Get them relieved or get them replenished. Y'all know what you're doing to these people's kids. If anybody got any information that we can use to send these people stuff, let us know in the comments.
That was dense. That was very dense.
That was deep. That was deep.
But yeah, I mean, he makes some pretty cool content. You know, shout out to him. Kind of explaining the mentality of somebody that is either in it or coming out of it, and that just because, like he said, you signed up for it, doesn't mean that it's right or justified. Knowing that it's that there's so much money, because we just look at, oh, well, the military gets all this money. That money is going to contractors. That's going to.
It's not going to the servicemen.
Right. That's going to make bombs. That's going to make these weapons that we don't need. That's going to profit. That's going to Lockheed Martin. Okay. That's not going to
Halliburton.
So, you know, it is scary to think about what they could do to somebody that not only is one thing to be in solitary confinement, prison, jail, someone that we considered, you know, not useful to society, unredeemable, but somebody that is working with dangerous, you know what I'm saying, materials, machinery.
Working to quote unquote allegedly defend our country.
Right. And we're letting them experience something, you know, white meat.
So let's go back to something he said that you can probably shed light upon. Said the body starts to eat itself. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your video's kind of lagging.
Okay, can you hear me now? I kind of blanked out. Okay, yeah, I want to go back to what he said. Something he said about the body starts to eat itself. What can you comment on that from a scientific standpoint?
Yeah, I mean,
because that was like what?
Yeah, I mean, after sustained malnutrition will lead to not just muscular atrophy, but also it will start to break down certain components of your bodies. So we know your body burns fat more so for energy and things like that, but your muscles are very dense and they hold a lot of protein. So when it comes to getting amino acid stores and resources, which is what you're getting from food, that's what protein is. That's what, fruits and vegetables provide. You are going to ultimately have to eat yourself alive in order to continue to be productive. It's one thing if you're just laying out, you know, you passed out and now you're not really doing anything. You're just respiring your metabolism. But if you're working, if your body has a routine and a structure and a clock and you're carrying heavy things, you know, exerting yourself, you're going to have to do something in order to compensate. And so they're clearly not eating enough. That is not what a standard, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And I want you to break that down a little further, like kind of what the stages are. I'm gonna go grab my laundry. Give me 3 minutes, but keep.
You're just gonna leave. Yeah. So I mean, you know, there's a lot of things that can happen from, malnutrition, and there's like layers to that, chronic malnutrition, which is, I'm sure, what a lot of these soldiers are experiencing, comes with, some pretty big, repercussions. Buddy was kind of talking about the mental side of it mostly, but there could be a lot of physical stuff that you can't really predict, or if you haven't experienced it, it doesn't really make sense. So yeah, I kind of wanted to go in a little bit more with this video here.
And 8 days counting, straight days at sea, no port call. I believe that's the record for this modern Navy. Sailors, Marines, 5,500 of them out at sea. Why? Why haven't they port yet? USS Abraham Lincoln right now is still at sea supporting this bogus war. They left San Diego November 21st last year, roughly 5,000 sailors and Marines. They were redirected to the Middle East. The deployment was supposed to only last till May of this year. It is now August. As of today, there's still no return date for that same carrier to be headed back to port. 40 days of continuous combat operations. They made a stop in Guam in December last year. A lot of the crew never got off the ship. One stop in Oman, July 7th. For the ones who did get off the ship, they were confined to a compound inside that port. Carriers normally pull in every 30 to 45 days. Why can't this carrier get back to port? Why? You have several people trying to throw themselves overboard. Now they're on medical hold because they're afraid of their career is finished. You have countless stories after story after story that are reaching back home to their loved ones. The loved ones are the ones that have to report this information and news to us. We wouldn't know. Pentagon is not telling us shit. You got another one, then another one, then another one that's trying to throw themselves overboard. What the fuck is going on, Pete Hegseth? Hey, Pentagon, why are you so quiet? Ask the Navy how many sailors have tried to go overboard. We need to know. Go back to April when the families put out photos of the food conditions. And then Pete Hegseth says it was fake news. Are you fucking kidding me? Is this how we treat our bravest men and women serving our country? And then just in San Diego, you hear about the 200 family members got so pissed off, they wanted to talk to the Navy leadership and told them up front. No, it wasn't fake news. The family members, 200 of them in San Diego, said that in one room. One spouse said her husband messaged her one morning and told her he hopes he doesn't wake up tomorrow. Vice Admiral Joseph Calhiel told those families, quote, "We hear you loud and clear. I sure hope you do. Get their asses back. Get a date, Admiral. Find a date. Get a date. Bring home the Lincoln. Bring the Lincoln home. Truth has no party. Y'all be well."
That's crazy.
So, government Garfunkelry, y'all. That is some of the latest.
This is Garfunkelry at its finest.
Yes.
The finest of Garfunkelry.
What more can we say? Redpillbook.com. Y'all tap in. Don't forget, Elephant in the Room is still available. Unlock some more activation in your life. You feel me? Because it doesn't stop with this. The lessons are universal, timeless, I'd say. Only time will tell. Only time will tell when Lincoln will be. Tell when we'll be back. Thank y'all for joining.
All right.
Don't get defunct.
Post your comments below. Let us know your thoughts.
Protest your
any questions, any things you want us to talk about.
We're good.
Any last words? Any last comments, Bubba?
Mr. Brown.
Don't get Garfunkeled. Don't get Garfunkeled. Okay.
Don't get Garfunkeled.
Mr. Brown, hey booby. Booby love Brown. All right, Fraud Department, we're out. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Wake up, it's time to see. Decode the system, set your mind free. Normalizing trust on a mission. Exposing frauds, revealing the illusion.
This is the fraud department.
Behind the curve, see through the lies. A master system, open your eyes. For the conscious, for the bold, for the free, we break the chains.
We go the matrix. We go the matrix. We go the fraud department.